So I was having a pretty interesting conversation with my little sister the other day, and I know you're probably not like interested in any of that, but too bad. It's my video, and you don't have to like it. And it's good for me to be like this. It's good for me to be mean to you through the internet because the way I'm being mean isn't like derogatory. It's mean like in a personal way, like in a way that hey, I need to stand out and be different from you without being hurtful or, derogatory. But I was having this conversation with my little sister. She was let me adjust this a little bit. She was we were talking about how the world is literally designed to push you to your limits. How society is designed to make you feel like you are crazy, how to make you feel like you are insane for the way that you think and for the way that you act simply because you don't fit in. And I'm here to tell you that don't listen to any of that shit. Do not be like other people. Because, and George Carlin literally said it best. It is so sad to see people sacrifice the beauty of their individuality for the sake of fitting in. And there hasn't been a more corrupted time, a more prominent time where that statement rang true than today, with how everybody is suffering from some gender confusion, how people are going all the way out of their ways to act insane for the sake of profit, for the sake of clout. And the fact that you would humiliate yourself just to get paid, I mean, why don't you just become a stripper or something, bro? Like, at least it's like you can walk away with some type of dignity with that compared to what other people are doing out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could literally just go and do that than to be completely, to act like a complete clown in front of the public. A fucking schlemiel, if you will. Like, you don't need to be that insane just to get paid. But we were talking about how society is literally designed to push you to your limits so that you end up doing the most heinous and most immoral acts just to get by. So let's take Pornhub, for instance. Pornhub is literally an app or a website that is designed to, well, make you, to stimulate your your sex drive. That's literally all that it's here for. It's to make you want to climax. It's to make you want to fucking bust a nut, and that's it. And because of it, we didn't know it at first, but over, a few decades of this shit, it had its neurological and psychological effects on people, especially those who are children. I grew up with it. I was born in 2002, September 3rd. And coming up, by the time I was 13, I had that shit in my hands. Like, there wasn't anything stopping me from going to the bathroom and just looking up a video. And because when you're exposed when you're that young, it's so unhealthy on so many levels because it grabs you right by the balls, And I'm glad I'm one of the ones who was able to overcome it. But it's still crazy to look out there and know that there are men that are so addicted to it that they literally can't live without it. And it affects the relationships. It affects the way we love one another. So Pornhub is literally another one of like the government's tools or, any elites, like one of these elitist tools to psychologically control people by giving them exactly what they want. And the fact that you can go on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and you can find all types of shit just on social media, and there are 14-year-olds on the exact same app who are just exposed to it, like they're all gonna grow up and they're not really gonna know what love looks like because they can't even demonstrate it on a screen without two people getting butt-ass naked. Like, our definition of love has completely changed over the last few fucking years. And it's not about being gay or straight. It's about just self-sacrifice and dedication. Something that isn't preached or taught in school or in church. It's hardly ever fucking preached on the fucking internet, and then when it is, it's because people are crying because they can't find somebody that they'll actually love. Big fucking whoop. And that's because those people, and honestly, I don't want this to go off into a whole nother, I don't want to pivot this conversation. I don't want to pivot my point. Because what we're talking about is how society is designed to push people to their limits so that they end up doing immoral and heinous acts. So, pivoting from that conversation, let's talk about drugs and how that is affecting everybody, because people are out there, they sell drugs, and it's because they sell drugs that like this whole world is literally fucked up. The CIA, it's no secret that the CIA came out with MK Ultra trying to control people's minds, and then they came out with cocaine and were like, oh yeah, no, we can just give this to people. And they put it out on the streets, especially within black communities, and they destroyed us. That was probably where critical race theory really started, like, going up. And it's not even critical race theory, it's a fact. It is a fact that there are a lot of white elitists that do not like people of my skin, no matter how good we make the shit work. I mean, there were people like even P. Diddy and Jay-Z, and even though they had like this type of influence over other black people, they all still submitted. They all still submitted to some white elitist who was like, okay, so this is how we're going to change up everything. And I don't know if you guys ever seen the podcast with Redman and how he was talking about the unethical decision made back in 1991 that was designed to make hip-hop rap about the worst, like coming up in the trenches. It was to make them rap about unethical decisions, about gang violence and rape and drugs and sex, and that was literally all it was centered around. And because of that, people grew up and that's all that they value within their lives now. That was the psychological effect that they had on us. It's literally just another piece, an attribute of MK Ultra, just without psychological drugs. Instead, it's through music. Instead, it's through the industry. Instead, it's just through culture as we know it. But society is literally designed to push people to their limits, like through finances. Like the second you don't have enough money, you have to start doing some immoral things just so that you can get by. Whether that be you're out on the streets selling your body or you're out on the streets selling drugs. Excuse me. But regardless, it's designed to make you act crazy. It's designed to make you think that you're insane. And so many people who sit there and say that they have social anxiety, people that sit there and say that, oh, I have depression, oh, I have PTSD is actually kind of valid. But as far as social anxiety and depression goes, and attention deficiency or autism, I mean, like, even though you can have all of those are mental illnesses most people can actually work with, especially autism and ADHD. Now, depression, that is not, I don't even know if I want to consider that a mental illness. I would rather consider that just a part of human nature. Like, it's imperative that you get sad over the world that you live in right now because you don't like the environment that you live in. That's the only reason why you're depressed. And because you think you're only depressed, and because you tell yourself and you truly and wholeheartedly believe that you are nothing but depressed, you never want to get up and go out and actually live life. People just don't feel accomplished. And that's the only reason why you're depressed. You're depressed because you tell yourself that you are depressed. And that's the cultural restraint that they have on you. That's the excuse you get to tell yourself so that you don't have to get up and go out and do anything. And you can sit there and you can say that it's so much more complicated than that. And sure, it might be, but is it worth it? How much do you like it? And if you don't like it, why aren't you doing anything to change it? You don't even try. And then you sit there and you say, oh, it's because I'm depressed. You're following your weaknesses right there. And that's your problem. If you were to follow your strengths, you would see how well accomplished you as an individual can be in this world. And it won't just be settled on finances, it'll be settled on a sense of personality, a sense of wisdom and clarity and guidance, a sense of respect, self-respect. People will see it and feel it within you. But because it's so much easier to give up than it is to actually give in to some shit, you would rather sit there and cry. As if that's just as if that's just all you're ever worth. And I'm here to tell you that you're not. Am I really crazy for saying that? For saying that you're stronger than you think? Am I? For going against you and your fucked up beliefs on yourself? Am I really fucked up for that? How? And then I would get canceled because it hurt your feelings. That's how fucked up our world is. And all we want and all we know is that we deserve so much more than whatever the fuck this world is trying to offer us. You know, the devil really has been at work, and I kind of had an idea, but I never thought it would get this bad. And I genuinely thought that, like, people would sort of, figure it the fuck out, that like, okay, no, this is wrong, but I guess I was wrong. And I never should have, like, taken that type of, gamble, but you live and you learn. I mean, you look out in this world and it's not like you love where you're living at. It's not like you like that you have to pay fucking $5 for a bag of Cheetos. It's not like you enjoy having to pay $10 for a 12-pack of fucking pop. And this is just how it is in Colorado. I don't know how it is in other states. I don't. It's probably a whole lot worse. But here in Colorado, it's on some bullshit. And nobody enjoys it. And we sit there and, even ads come out and they talk about the economy being bust. But it's not like, what are we really going to do about that? What can we even do about the economy to change it so that we, the poor people, can actually thrive? We would literally have to shut down businesses. Like, as a collective group, we would all have to form together and literally just stop people from going to work. Because then it would halt the flow of money. And once the flow of money is halted, it would literally be an anarchy. Then it would literally be a free world. And given our circumstances, it's where we're headed anyways. Come on now. Like, you don't want to start some shit? Then you aren't living. But just looking at the world and the pressures that are put on people, even the homelessness, man. It is run up so rampantly out here. Every time I go out, every time I go to the movie theaters, whether it be to, or to the mall, or just to go to a friend's house or some shit, there's always a homeless person out on the streets talking about, I'm a veteran, this is embarrassing, I have 4 kids, and the kids be out there with them. Sometimes it's a baby getting pushed in a stroller. It is so insane that there are rich billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk that don't donate or not donate, but they don't invest in poor people. And in all honesty, and I've come up with like a huge plan, like a long ass time ago, that if we were to ever get back up on our feet, first things first, we would have to tax the rich. That's just imperative. That's the only way it would work. And then take their money and redistribute it amongst poor people. But the system that would do that would have to be the Federal Reserve to act as an economic heart within each state so that it could fund local businesses such as schools and education and hospitals and, just the essentials that are, for people, as well as to lower taxes on housing and bills and shit like that. Because food shouldn't be so fucking hard to get. Water shouldn't cost a fucking dime. And education shouldn't be as expensive as it is, especially at college, when we want to become the best nation on earth. But because we are, cock-blocked by the CIA and the FBI, who don't want us to reach that type of enlightenment, that type of awareness, because it's scared that we might freak the fuck out, we get nowhere and we have zero progress. So seriously, take into account the world that you are living in and come out here. Talk to people. Try to make a difference in people's days. Try to make a difference in this life as it stands, because none of us are happy with it. And once again, have some faith in humanity.